The thoughts and views of this podcast and the sole views of the curators of this podcast is not the views of United States Postal Service.
And we are back. That's right, on the Route Podcast. Hey, what episode is this, fellas?
33.
33. Scotty Pippen. We right back at it, man. You know what I mean? On this one, we're going to be talking about the 99 walks. If y'all know what that is, if you're a carrier, when you get walked on the route by supervision. For people that are clerks, this is what we go through when they want to give us a headache when we're on the street. They like to follow us around and try to, see how we're doing our routes, the pace, everything like that. See what new developments are on the routes, how we're delivering, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Before we get into that, as always, let my brothers introduce themselves. To my left.
This is Black. We back again. We talking about these damn walks. I can't stand them. I had too many. Anybody out there, let us know how many y'all had, because this is sickening.
Speed more than that. We talking about walks. These boots are made for walking. That's what we're gonna do. What I'm talking about these. Walking like I told you.
Shoot, my boots is tore up. Like I can't walk in them joints, but what's up, this Aaron? I need some new boots, like every 3 months.
This your engineer, never staying low key, Rick Shine. I've been walked a few times in different stations, you know what I mean? So we definitely gonna get into this and talk about it. So if you're wondering out there, if you've never been in the post office, what a 99 walk is when they want to evaluate your route to see if it is an 8-hour assignment completely, from everything from casing your route in the morning to you pulling it down, giving it to the relay driver if you're in a walking station, or loading it in your truck if you're in a park and loop station, or what's the other
Mountain station.
Mountain station. You know what I mean? And then they want to see you out there delivering, seeing how you're moving. And the objective is for you to come back within that 8-hour time span and clock out.
Don't they do 5 days too? They do, I think, it's a whole week span, right?
It's not supposed to.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a 5-day thing because you can't really judge the mail off of one day. Mail always fluctuates from Monday to Saturday, so it's effective for them to at least do, I think, 3. I think it's actually 3. I think they do it 3 days out of
Well, I think it's 3 days they do it, but I think really officially it's 5 days. Like it's supposed to be a 5-day work.
Okay.
And it's supposed to have somebody behind you counting the mail, basically, like counting your flats, letters, and everything like that. So that's what it's.
Well, these lazy SOBs we got in our district, they only do it one day. But, yeah, I say.
And you know it ain't a Monday.
Yeah, definitely on Monday. I say.
Maybe
Like to stay at a week.
Lazy son of a. But anyway, so.
All right now.
Does anybody want to go first and just tell our audience about the experience they might have had having a walk?
Well, I got walked the CCA, and I got walked maybe like 2 years ago. So I got walked with us.
That's not 2 years ago. You've been regular for like 4 years.
No,
You've been regular like 4 years.
Your highest time.
so, I think it was 2019. I did it right before COVID. I walked there. I was a CCA. I walked. So what they do is they count. I was in a mania thing. The funny thing about it, the guy called out and he was like, "You gotta walk." I'm like, "Huh?" He called out. He knew he was gonna get walked that day, so we need you to walk in for him. I'm like, "All right." He's like, "Well, it's gonna officially not count." Like they kept kind of like intertwining. Like it's gonna count, but it's not really count because your CCA. We're gonna just measure it to his time. I'm like, whatever. So they walked me the route basically. Person walked behind me, like I said, they're behind you. Count all the flats, count my letters up. Make sure everything, like I said, you really can't do too much. You have to stay in there. You pull down. They'll follow you. I guess they get a vehicle to follow your LV. I follow around when I parked at the parking stop where my first stop for the route was. They walk up with you, walk down the hills. So, and man, the guy was like, all right, man, you got up this hill? I said, yeah. He's like, I'll be halfway down. I'll see you when I go up there. It was about the end of the route, but yeah, they walk you and they evaluate you, like how you doing. You're supposed to hold on to the railings, walk the step properly. Don't go over railings. Supposed to come up and down. Basically, you can't. You're not allowed to
No shortcuts.
No, not shortcuts, but still with the letters, you can't have the house ready. Letters have your letters ready before you go to the house. You gotta have it ready in front of the mailbox. Yeah, you can actually the mailbox and make sure you do all that. Like make sure you take your breaks at a certain time. Well, you can't take it at a certain time.
That's how I ain't been walked yet.
Yeah, I got walk. It was crazy. Yeah,
I'm gonna explain it. Trust me.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like, all right, cool. And then you're like, well, we got a certain amount of time. Like, well, you want to take a break? I'm like, you asked me, you want to take a break? You haven't taken one yet. Like,
But before the record is because you were a CCA at the time, it can't be official because it can only be official when it's the person that actually has the route under their name. So I'm like, so for the people that's listening, that's watching, like if you ever were a utility or a CCA, like if you're getting walked on a 99 walk, it's never official that the route doesn't actually belong to you. You're not the one that's assigned to the route.
Well, no,
it's
actually,
only official when the person that's assigned to the route.
well, no,
Unless
yeah.
there's a medical reason why that carrier is not there and they've been out for quite some time.
Or the thing is the fact that like what they told us to, they said that if there's no person on the route, if the route's vacant, the utility gets counted for the route basically. So like,
Yeah.
it's a route on my key basically. If the person to show up, my time accounts for that route because of the fact that there's no regular in there, the actual regular because
Yeah,
it's
you're the
one
one
of your
always
routes,
doing it.
basically. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
still didn't count.
But when the route actually has somebody on there,
That's what I'm saying.
You're not walking the person, it's not going to count.
Exactly.
Because your pace can be totally different from that person. Like you said, you were in your like mid to early 30s when that happened. Whoever the regular was, he probably was like 50 something years old. So that's
No, it was actually it was younger dude that called out. Like, he was scared. Like he didn't want to call out. He didn't want to come. He was scared because he knew he
But in most cases, it's somebody older.
Yeah, it is.
Well, you know me. Me personally, I just want to know when these route numbers that they got. Only thing on a route is really official with how many possible deliveries you have. The time you get on the street to the time you come back, the time you put ticket breaks, all that is not set in stone because it's going to be different every day. Because you may end up in a different spot every day. That time you usually take your break, you may still be on the block because the block was heavy, too many packages, had to revisit the block more than once, etc. But me, when I got walked at least 5-6 times, and since I've been in the post office. I got walked as a CCA twice. I got walked as a regular about 4 times. So, but when I first got walked, this is before COVID, this is probably like 2016, 17, as a CCA. I was at Overbrook. I forget the gentleman's name that walked me. I was on 65 route, and I got to my first block. And the first block is the parking loop block. It's like 100 something houses on the block, and apartments, everything's on that block. And I had to walk up and down the block, walk up and down the steps, 2-tier steps. And when I got done half the block, the dude was like, "This is what you do every day?" I was like,
Yep.
"Yeah."
Can you handle it?
The block gets, and this, I think he walked me on like a Tuesday or Wednesday. And I told him, I said, "Just be lucky it's not Monday." He said, "Why?" I said, "I would have to break it up in like 4 different parts because it's too much DPS. They get that block on a Monday, get 2 trays of DPS.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's the block.
Yeah, just the block. So that means I can't carry all the packages. I'll have to revisit that half that I broke up. Like it's insane the amount of mail that route got. But by the time I got to the middle of the route, he was like, "We ain't even done yet." I was like, "Oh, I know." I took my break around. See, back in that time when I was CCA, they didn't press me about what time I took my break. I always took my break anytime, whenever, no matter what time it was. When I got to the middle of my route, I took my break.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I always did it. At CCA, I wasn't aware of the 210s. Nobody never told me, so I never knew anything about 2 10-minutes. I only knew about the half hour. So at the whole time I was at CCA, I only took a half hour. But I was walked recently in a walking station as regular, twice in 2 weeks. Imagine that. So I got walked because the first time I got walked because I put in a 96 and they wanted to challenge my 96, which is insane. But they assumed I didn't need the time that I asked for, which I did, because I came back in the same amount of time that I would, I put on a 96. But when I got walked, the manager was trying to tell me that when I was walking, that she was trying to tell me I need to walk a little bit faster. That's not happening.
Huh?
Yeah, that's not happening.
Can't tell nobody the pace.
My pace is my pace. And I wasn't walking like a crab, but I was still getting my blocks done in the allotted time that I'm supposed to be done my blocks. Like if I'm on a block and it says that I need to be off that block in an hour, I'll be off that block in an hour. That's just how it works. That's the time limit you gave me for that block on the breakdown. So that's what I do. So, and most people don't know, when you're getting walked and you're walking up the steps, if there's a railing on one side, you literally have to shift the mail from whatever arm to the opposite arm and hold the railing, walking up and coming down. And when you get to the mailbox, it even tells you your feet have to be planted on the ground, and you look down and finger the mail and put the mail in the box, and then proceed to the next address, walking down the steps, holding the railing, walking up the streets, paying attention to misplacements in the sidewalk so you don't trip, slip, all that. And you do the same thing when you get to the next house. You don't finger the mail until you get to the mailbox. And that's how you do every single block, up and down every single step. No, don't hop no railings, don't whatever, you don't walk across no grass, don't walk across, none of that. Up and down the steps, because that's what they tell us to do. So give them what they want. You give them what they want, it's going to take a minute. Trust me. All these people out here with bad routes, y'all know, if y'all do it exactly the way they tell you you're going to do, you're going to get overtime every day. Every day. The only way they be able to clear you is to take time off.
And they want you to cheat and do all that stuff because they can save the time.
Yeah, they want you to do it. They ain't going to tell you to do it, but they want you to do it because they want to save time. No. Do it exactly the way they tell you to do it. Because you'll never be on time. Never. Unless it's a super easy day like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Then that's when they'll try to pivot you, which is crazy. Like, 'cause I don't work for free. Nah, I don't do that. But yeah. And I was each one of my walks were different. Everybody seems like whoever's walking you has their own set of rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like one person, I walk the same pace every day. One person said my pace is cool. One person said I'm walking too slow. Other person didn't have an opinion. Like some people just don't care about how you do your route or how you walk, and they just don't even feel like being out there because they don't want to be on a walk team. But then you got people that's super anal, like, oh, you could have walked across that grass. Well, that's not what we're told to do. We're told to go up and down the stairs. I was walked also by my manager at King Sesson when I was there. He told me, oh, you could have walked across that lawn. Huh? Like how? Like didn't y'all say you're supposed to walk up and down every step? You know, I'm not trying to be out here all day. Why are you out here?
Exactly.
You're going to be out here, but a lot of time I was given to do my route. But I was walked recently. They said it was official, then they said it was unofficial. Nobody counted my mail though, by the way. And I cased up my route. I went to the street. We had a walking station, so I had to catch the bus to the route. Mind you, when we got to the street to get to the bus stop, the bus took 45 minutes.
That's crazy.
45 minutes to show up because it was a detour. None of us knew that. So bus took 45 minutes. All right, cool. Got to the route, did the route. I forget the guy's name. Thomas, I think that was his name. That was his name? Yeah, I think that was his name. He was a cool dude. He was out there. He didn't really have much to say while he was, walking.
That's good.
Yeah, he like, we had a couple casual conversations about a couple things in the post office and how certain things are ran and certain people that's in the post office that, shouldn't be in there. But
No.
he's a pretty good dude. He said he was on a walk team before, and he was basically telling me how it's supposed to go. And he said, now I quote, he said to me that even though sometimes they don't count your mail, the walk can still be official on the street. Now, I have people told me that's true, and I have people to tell me that's not true. I haven't read it anywhere to say that it is or isn't. Like I said, that's probably one of the things that he was probably told is true, and he went with it because whoever was above him said, yeah, that's right. Which, it didn't matter to me if it was official or not. I was gonna walk my route the same way I always did. But it was like with him, it was cool. He's probably my most laid back person that I was walked by. Everybody else was negative. So yeah, everybody else is negative because they didn't want to be out there. I know they want to be out there, and you can tell. And those people that don't want to be out there, walk them. Take your breaks, but your bathroom breaks too. Walk them.
Comfort stops.
I'm telling you, walk them down the hardest blocks more than once to revisit the packages, go to the boxes, all that. Walk them.
When the dog come out from the gate.
Trust me, they want to go out there, make them feel it. And if they not walking with you, stop with them. Like they supposed to walk with you on every block. Every block, every house. They ain't got to go up the steps, but they got to be on that block, walking the block.
Yeah, 'cause the point is for them to actually see you delivering the mail.
Yes.
I get a false time. I'll send you down that street.
Okay.
And what the thing they don't tell you about is that the people on the walk team, that's a punishment for them. You know what I mean? That's how they discipline the management. They put them on the walk team because they know they don't feel like walking routes.
Oh, God.
Because half of them used to be carriers and they got out of carrying because they got tired of carrying. So that's how they tend to punish these people that don't want to walk team and make them walk routes.
That's crazy.
That's why, like he said, some of them will have an attitude. They'll feel like they don't feel like being out there because they don't really want to do this stuff. And upper management knows they don't want to do it, and that's why they punish them and put them there in the first place.
Well, then they actually got rid of walk team and have the scanner that they brought them back to.
Supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly, yeah. But I mean, I've always felt like, you know, it's especially with the new technology that we have now, you don't need to really actually walk with us. You just look at the scanner. The scanner will tell you exactly from point A to point Z how long I took to do my route.
Exactly.
But
Because you got to scan all your packages. That's giving you a marker right there telling you where you are. Especially if you have a package for every block
every block.
or a package for every hour on the route. They'll have a good idea of where you are and how long it takes you to do everything.
So do they alter and update the route on the scanner too, or no?
I had no idea actually.
Well, I believe once you put, like, if you have any new addresses or you're taking stuff away, once you put in your red book and you send it up, I think that they have the information and they go tell the people that handle like the scanner and data information so it can be put in there.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, like, I've got new stuff added and I'll get the SPM for one of the new buildings. I'm like, oh, so they must have known that this building is in existence now because they're telling me to scan a package for this new address.
But the scanners are so unreliable though.
Mm-hmm.
It's so even if they, you know, the scanner can tell you what's your first block and what's your last block. They're unreliable to the point where that's why I think that's why they still physically walk people. I think it's they physically walk us for the yearly walk. I think it is.
Yeah.
The yearly
What I was
annual
told?
walk. Yeah, the yearly annual walk. Yeah.
The yearly walk. The yearly walk is I think
Is that around this time in the first quarter? Around this time?
No, it's usually like
first or second.
it's like second or third, like right around the summer. That's when the weather's the best.
And
For
the
them.
person start
And then it was like,
Yeah, it smells lighter. Yeah.
give assessment of time. Oh yeah, it smells so light here. Okay, all right, whatever.
I ain't really been walked yet. Like, I was supposed to be walked 2018, 2019.
Lucky motherfucker.
Yeah. But I had did the route, like this, I was a CCA, I ain't know no better. So I did the route backwards. I just did it how I usually do it. And it was like, well, this ain't how I go. And I was like, yeah, it's a little more efficient. So I kind of lost them because he was like trying to go by the sheet.
Oh,
So they ended up being like,
They didn't know where they was at.
yeah, it was like, this kind of confusing. We're just gonna go get some lunch and we'll be back. I said, all right. I just kept going.
Say they was hungry.
Where they at? Where they at?
That was on 23 route.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
oh no, you supposed to walk them down on that route.
Yeah,
I ain't left.
You did them a favor. You did them a favor. Like I've been walking. I think several different times at different stations. So I've had to do it with the mounted with the parking loop route, and I've had to do it on foot. And it's always like Black said, it's always funny on foot because the transportation is never the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, you can walk already? You can walk?
Yeah, like when I first got my first year when I got the Roxborough, when I was on 11 route, they walked. Now the funny thing about the funny thing about being on 11, like when it was during the summer, like they normally do like around August, and like the lady was somebody that wasn't from Philly. She's from like New York, but she was like in the Philly area. So I guess they put her on the walk team because she pissed somebody off. And then she was saying like she had a bad skin condition that had to deal with the sun.
Oh yeah.
And so she was trying to. So that was kind of rough. Her trying to walk me on that route, and there's not that much shade.
Somebody get her dirty.
Yeah. So she was like trying to dip in and out. She had an umbrella with her, and I'm just looking at her like, oh, I'm like, all right, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? So we ended up getting done, around the time I usually do, and then waited 40 minutes for the bus, which made my route over. And she was standing in the shade. She's like, is the bus going to come anytime soon? Because it's hot. I'm looking at her like, hey, look, I don't really tell you. I'm standing in the sun at the stop. And she over there across the street in the shade trying to wait. I'm like, this is horrible. This is like dirt.
Imagine if she was on Mania waiting. There ain't no trees over there.
Yeah, she
Imagine
was
on Ridge
flamed up.
Ridge even worse. You were on Ridge.
And then, when I was at Overbrook, of course, I got walked when I was on 30 route. And then, like Lottie never wanted to walk me herself. Like she always tried to get other supervisors to do it. You know what I mean? And then the supervisors were quick because, especially after you do Morris Park. Like they just like, all right, man. Like 'cause I changed the route around. I had to do Morris Park in the beginning. I remember the one lady they had from another station. She came like she was like, all right, she said, what block is this? I'm like, it's the first hour. She said, okay, so this is going from 0 to 90 to 99. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's the first half, and you have the second half. It's at the top. That's the 66 Morris Park. She was like, there's another part to this. I'm like, yeah. So then we started doing it. And then by the time I got done, she made a phone call to somebody. She was like, we're not going to actually make this an official walk. I have to go after some other things I have to do. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. Then she just kind of bailed on me.
Yo.
You know what I mean? So I'm like,
That's like the middle of the route, ain't it?
That's what it used to be. But when I set it up, I had it as the beginning part.
Oh,
So
okay.
on hour one, she quit.
Oh, wow.
We never got to go to Lotus and Melbourne and all that other stuff yet. She was just like, all right.
Oh,
And then she looked at the sheet and saw everything else that was coming. She probably said, nah.
He said, oh, no, hell no.
Y'all are nothing done.
So like for me, these walks were just always an irritation because it kind of takes you out of your rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have certain things you like to do while you're doing your mail to try to keep yourself going, yourself intrigued. And it's like, I don't feel like talking to somebody I care nothing about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, 'cause they try to have a conversation with you and talk. It's like, I don't feel like fucking talking to you right now.
All of them at small.
I don't care about the small talk. It's like, just follow me, yo. I try to make it as unpleasant as possible so you quit.
Yeah.
Me personally.
So since y'all been there, working at Roxborough, did they take any routes out from the walk?
No. I don't think they ever will, to be honest, because our station is unique. 90% of the people that work there actually live there too.
Mm-hmm.
So that the workers and the customers. So it's kind of hard to do your flim flam when you're doing it to the people that work there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Family
Like,
too.
because that's what they like to do. Like, the whole idea of the walk, I think, is for them to try to see what routes are under, and then try to combine them and take routes out, which takes away jobs. Which is why you never want to get done early doing your route. Because it's not about you trying to stick it to management. It's about you trying to preserve a job for somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because jobs are scarce to come by right now. You know what I'm saying? And as carriers, we can't be laid off, but you don't want to be a carrier that's just roaming around as unassigned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's true. Like we they at our station walking now. I think 2 carriers gonna walk.
Make sure they get you.
My pleasure. Please. My route long as hell. Like my route is long as hell and steady.
But I got a question for y'all. I always had I think I asked this before. I think when I was at King Sesson, when the manager had walked me, I asked him. I said, "What's the point of the walk?" And he said, "Well, we have to reassess the route." I said, "Yeah, but the route didn't change. It hasn't changed in 5 years. There's nothing to be built. All their houses, the same business has been here for 10 years, same streets." Ain't nothing changed. They ain't built no new houses. They can't because everything is locked in. Only thing that could possibly change is if a house is abandoned, or you can remodel a house, but it's the same address. There's no new apartments, no new complexes, no nothing. What's the point of the walk when you got a route where nothing changes?
Yeah. That's my route.
It's the same. It's the same route. So what are you walking it for? Oh, to see if I did it faster than the person before me. Depending on who's on it before me. If it's some old dude, yeah, I'm probably gonna do it faster. If it's some young dude, he probably did it faster than me.
And that's why they always kind of like emphasize, well, update your red book, update your red book. I'm like, all right, like, okay, I understand.
Yeah, but you can't update the red book if nothing changed.
And that's what I'm saying. They always tell me, you update your red book every year if you have something new your address. I'm like, well, if I add something new on my address, which means that's me more time based, like, and more stuff onto it. That makes common sense. If I'm updating my red book, I'm actually doing you guys a favor by not updating basically. If you really want to do it the proper way, there'll be more on the route. Oh, you got this address? This is on there? This on it? Yep. I didn't know that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because they give you 3 minutes per address. So you add new stuff. That's 3 minutes every time you add something on there. So no way the route is going to still be an 8-hour route.
You get 8.5, 9.5, 9.
Yeah. So my route is product of consolidation. So I guess whoever was on there before 2018, because that's when it became a whole new route. So they took a route out and then took some streets and made my route. Yeah.
They added to your route or just made it?
No, they just created. My route was a new route in 2018. So they
Okay.
created that joint out of consolidating 2 different joints.
Wow.
So you got 2 routes?
Pretty much.
Yo.
So they took 2 routes and they made your route now.
Yep.
And they expect somehow, never mind.
So,
Making no sense, baby.
so they took a route out and took streets from 2 different routes and then put it together like that.
So, hold up, wait, let me get this straight. So, that route was essentially 2 routes. And those 2 routes essentially had,
Somebody was running them.
okay, so somebody, it was essentially had 2 carriers. And
Yeah,
it's-
it was 2 different routes, and they was considered short and under. So they had to take streets from that route, and I guess they took a route out too. So it was combined from 3 different routes. It was one route that was real short, the other 2 routes was real short anyway. So they took streets from those 3 routes and created my route.
I got another question. Those routes been there for a minute, right?
Yeah,
And I'm really sure at some point in time they considered those routes 8-hour routes.
yeah, probably so. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then now they're making them 2 routes, and now they're saying it's an 8-hour route still.
Yeah, math ain't math.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
That's my point, because they can't tell you, like, how many stops is on the route now.
Like 565, 569.
And they tell you it's an 8-hour route. But if you look at another route in there that got 300-400 stops, it tells you that's an 8-hour route too. That
So wait, how many stops is that again?
565.
So the new route, the one that you have now, is 565. It used to be 2. So that means that it was like 200 and something a piece. The previous 2, right?
Wow.
You know I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So it was 2 routes that was each 250 plus probably stops. Now by chance, the carriers who had these routes were they of a different hue?
Yeah. Nah, they was older. So one guy was, the other 2 wasn't.
Okay, so it was 2 different people that were on this route.
Nah, so look, alright. So it's 36 route. Then I forgot the number. I forgot the other number. And then the route that the guy had, the white guy, he had that route, but that route was super short.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not trying to get too much detail. Cause
I get it.
yeah. So they had to, because all 3 of them was running those routes, they had to combine, like take some out and take a route out and combine to make one route. So they took some blocks off the 2, and then took some routes off the white guy, the one white guy route
Made all to one kind
that
of route.
they made obsolete. So I think that route was like 39 or something like that.
All right, so let me say this, man. To the people that are watching at home, if you like this episode, by all means, hit the like button. Comment below, let us know what y'all think about these 99 walks if you're a carrier. If you were somebody that's a clerk that's heard about it, maybe you're feeling informed about it. Maybe you have something similar that y'all do where they watch y'all all day. You know what I mean? If you haven't subscribed, by all means, subscribe. My question is this, though. In the city of Philadelphia, we don't have really mounted routes where you do the whole route mounted. Like you driving to each house. You know what I mean? We have something like that are mixed with walking.
on the curbside.
Yeah, curbside. You know, we don't really have it where you actually driving from house to house and never get out the car unless you're driving a package. The only way that, in my opinion, and this is for anybody who wants to disagree, by all means comment below. But in my opinion, there's no major city in this country where you can have a route that's 250 something stops and it's actually an 8-hour assignment. Unless you're driving a mile per house.
Unless those houses is like some serious gaps.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be like a mile in between each home. Like now I would imagine in Montana, most of the routes are probably 200 something stops because they're driving a mile, half a mile to each home.
A lot of space,
Yeah, a lot of open space. That's not the case in Philly. That's probably not the case we definitely know it ain't the case in New York. And it definitely ain't the case in LA. So I'm trying to figure out how was this going on before our time and nobody said anything. But now they want to press you about 500, 600, 700 stops being in 8 hours.
Oh, you know what?
You know what I mean? Like, have it make sense.
It's more of us now.
Yeah.
Say that again?
It's more of us now.
Okay, yeah. So speaking of which, do y'all feel like this is like a company thing? Because it seems like on top of them trying to walk these routes and combine routes, they're trying to lessen the amount of stations we have.
Yes.
Because I was told a couple days ago that one of the ideal ideas they had was they would like to have 4 super stations in Philly, just 4 super stations. Like
What, in total?
in total, just 4 stations. There'll be like 4 MODs counting. And I'm like,
Dude.
how would that ever work? The amount of traveling you would have to do, depending on what part of the city you're in and what super station you're at, you're gonna probably need an hour on top just for the transportation there and back.
So that would mean like Roxborough, Mania, East Falls, all one.
Yeah, all one, right?
So
But
Walker Rouse would be obsolete.
But we're talking about 4 super stations. They probably would add somebody with us because that's still not enough. Cause think about how many stations it is.
So it'd be like Germantown and
Germantown.
Yeah, like I'm talking like imagine somebody from our station and like the super hub station is at where Germantown is at. But they they're somewhere their route is like where Buckley's route is.
Hold up, wait a minute. So they're trying to do north, south, east, west.
Probably something like that. Yeah.
Stupid. Wow.
That's what the ideal was. Like that they're trying to. But I'm like, first of all, you have to probably build these other 3 stations because
Yeah, those buildings exist as
they can accommodate that. Yeah.
Cause that means
But I'm like, y'all don't want to pay. Y'all don't want to pay the rent for some of these places. How you gonna pay construction to build a whole new building?
Yeah, that don't make sense.
So I don't know if that's the case in some of these other cities where you guys are. Let us know in the comments. You know, if you heard anything similar like that, like they're trying to make big super hubs for all the major city stations, like they just have them all combined and consolidated because they've already started doing that. Like he said in the previous episode, out in the AOs where they're trying to like combine multiple cities and have them work out of one building. But you said something off camera earlier that that it seems like they're just doing that in America. Period.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of. I've seen it's a lot of companies doing it, as far as like tech companies. But everybody's moving towards AI, and they're combining companies to make these super companies. And I was trying to figure out is this a thing? I'm like, they're doing it. The post office is doing it. And then you said
Yeah, they're doing it in the music business now too. Like they have a lot of the labels are like combining and becoming whole new corporation companies. Like, and they're laying off mad people. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
A&Rs, executives, they're just firing people. Like, you know
So
what I mean?
with all these layoffs, let's take the post office for example, because that's where we're more experienced at. When you do these combining of these stations, that means like the people that's probably the safest as far as their job is probably the carriers.
Mm-hmm.
The clerks is going to get hit because you're not going to need all those clerks.
Nope.
The supervisors, to 204Bs, managers, area managers, they're going to get hit
Yeah, they'll be alright.
because if you got
Oh man.
Because like you said, if you got 4 super stations, like you're not going to need all the managers you have for all these stations. Just area manager, what's the other one? Area district manager. You're not going to need all of them.
No, 'cause it's gonna be
You just have 1 at the station, or 2 at the most at the station. All them other positions will be obsolete. There will be no more.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do the same thing. It's going to be a big layoff.
I feel like slowly but surely, like I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or anything like that, but I feel like slowly and surely they're kind of moving us towards that privatization thing.
That's
You
what
know what I
I
mean?
mean.
It'll
That's
be
what
easier to privatize like
Yeah, like once you consolidate everything, it'll be easier to privatize and then start making your moves that you want to make, especially since they're about to try to pay us more based on our contract, our national contract that we're working on.
Yeah.
Hold up. Wait. So they're trying to save money, lay off workers, consolidate the company, and save save money.
Well, the layoffs, I think, would happen, believe it or not, the layoffs are probably having to cut 50 people in management because, I mean, at 204B, you still have the option to go back to craft, which a lot of them probably will run back and do that once that situation happens.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to find a route now. But if you're a cut 50, you don't do anything craft-wise, they probably will get rid of you if you're not, like, one of the best of what you do. Because I think I remember talking to somebody in our union before about how that process would work, how they would probably end up privatizing. They would have to take something horrific to happen that makes us look bad in the press. For them to have an excuse to now have to do a whole rebrand.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like what probably would happen was, the board of governors would probably end up having to step down and then kind of how Magic Johnson and a group of billionaires came together and brought like the Dodgers
Yeah,
and brought
and the Commanders.
Yeah. It'll be something like that where it'll be a group of like business people that will come together and make a new company so they can buy the post office and then they will be, I guess, the quote unquote new governors or private CEOs board or whatever.
Kind of like Elon Musk and what's the boy name?
Now, would they be allowed to buy the post office? Because
Well, the government would have to.
Yeah,
so
makes sense, yeah.
so they're gonna get their cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know it's gonna be somebody that's involved in politics involved in this as well. But the thing what happened was I think they would end up talking to the VPs, the area VPs. You know, we have like at least 4. I think they do the different. You know what I mean? They would have them start doing the heavy lifting of the chop block stuff.
Okay.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So they're looking at certain district managers because we got consolidated districts. We don't need all these district managers. Who's the shittiest one? All right, you're going. You know what I'm saying? And then they're probably the remaining guys are telling them, all right, look at the different cities. Who's the city's postmasters? Now you're going. You know what I'm saying? Then the postmasters that are left over, you got all these new supervisors that are under you now. The weakest ones, get rid of them. We don't need them. Then they're going. You know what I mean? It just trickles down like that.
It's elimination process.
Yeah.
So all this is basically they're doing this because of naturally, ultimately they want to save money, but this process is starting with the walk.
Yeah, I believe
You
so.
believe that? Starting with the walk.
Yeah.
They're walking these routes so they can, consolidate routes. And they'll probably, I don't know how many they're gonna break down because a route can only have so many stops. Like 1,000 possible deliveries is a lot.
Yeah, especially if it's door to door, down apartments.
So and there are stations with more than that. So I'm trying to figure out what number are they trying to get to, because, like I said, that's a lot of stops. So a station like Roxborough, we got like 40 something routes, almost 50 routes.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you can't consolidate that to 25 routes?
There's no way.
You
The
can't.
amount of travel would be ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Unless you turn to a parking station, but you turn a whole entire station.
But even if you
Still
talk
the driving though.
yeah, you turn into a mountain station and we all got trucks, and you're gonna turn, because we got what 11 route has what 700 something stops,
Yeah,
67. Who knows by the time they get done?
Yeah, no, it's not the case.
Yeah.
67 got some new stuff on there too.
A bunch of new buildings.
A bunch of new buildings, apartment complexes.
We talking about like at least about 6 apartment buildings they
And
added.
businesses.
Yeah.
Ridge
Like
Ridge
6.
Ave alone will be a route. It's a
Yeah.
route.
By itself.
Yeah. So how are you doing this and expect people to be comfortable with this, adding to these routes, making these routes bigger, and still telling us it's 8 hours?
Get it done.
And once again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but as we're talking about this, I'm thinking, like how these different companies are consolidating, the post office consolidating. It reminds me of something that, because history repeats itself.
Yes.
It reminds me of something that I learned when I was in school. You know what I mean? When they talked about Rome, like Rome at its height, was everywhere. It stretched all the way to the Far East, all the way to the tip of Africa. All the way over to the British Isles.
Yeah.
The decline of Rome started happening when they started consolidating.
Because it was a bridge.
Yeah, they couldn't afford to keep the empire at its peak, being that spread out. So they had to start bringing it back in. They had to abandon the British post. Then they started abandoning the Egyptian post. They started abandoning the Far East, Middle East area post, and they started bringing it back in a little bit because they just didn't have the manpower nor the resources or the economics to actually still exist the way they wanted to exist.
Yep.
America's already started on that path a couple years ago. They closed a bunch of military bases overseas that we just couldn't keep anymore. You know what I mean? And now you see us now kind of starting to consolidate companies and businesses. Internally, yeah. So it makes you kind of think like, are we at the pinnacle point now where we're not going to be the #1 superpower
No,
going
that's
forward?
happening, though. It's
Falling off.
it's not a matter of if it's happening, it's just a matter
When?
of
When?
Yeah. And the question is, what now happens to the American people if things are starting to be consolidated? Because one thing we do know that with this country, they cut corners like a mug. So what's going to happen with the food, the quality of the food?
That's
They
already
been
changed.
cutting
That's
corners.
already
man.
changed.
You know what I mean? How many shortcuts we going to start taking with that? What are the side effects?
Y'all like crab sticks?
No, I don't.
Nah.
No. Oh, alright. For people out there that eat crab sticks, that ain't crab.
Oh, we know it's artificial.
Oh, wow.
It's artificial. Yeah. GMO.
It's not crap.
Yeah, so then you look at the fact that they consolidated schools, and then they closed down a couple of Philly high schools, and just got rid of them completely. You know what I mean? Made the kids just travel even further.
Yep. You now you combine the hoods.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that
I'm like,
rivals.
yeah, I'm like, so you see it happening now, and it's like that's why my mind went to the whole thing with Rome, because I'm like, they did the same thing when they were going through their beginning of the downfall.
Their fall.
Yeah.
Their free fall. They want to try to slow it down. Just
Possible,
fall.
yeah.
Just fall.
Yep.
It'll be over quicker. It would be over quicker.
Yeah.
Just hit the deck. Stop trying to hold on. Hit the deck.
Hold on.
It'll be over real quick.
Bleed slow.
Do we got time for another story real quick?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I just seen something. Cause
Uh-oh.
Real time, folks, real time.
Yeah.
I saw that about 5 days ago, a letter carrier got robbed. I guess he got robbed a while back, but the person who robbed him got 30-day sentence for robbing
Oh,
the
yeah, I
bank.
heard about that.
Yeah.
He had a gun to his head. Yeah. So apparently the post office, once again, on the management side, messed up the paperwork.
Unbelievable.
They messed up the paperwork in terms of getting this person prosecuted. How do they do that? I have no idea.
Why does the manager even touch the paperwork?
Why have a postal police?
Well, that's what I think. That's what I'm saying.
Straight from the
I think it was somebody from that side. Like they fumbled the paperwork.
Wow.
That's why the person only did 30 days in jail for armed robbery.
Gotta be.
Because it's armed robbery when you put a gun on somebody.
Yeah. Hold up, leave it.
The Jordan, he had a statement though.
Oh, go ahead, no, go. I'm gonna hear this.
He
Go ahead.
said in the statement, this sends a concerning message of encouragement to our nation's criminals and a message of disregard to our loyal public servants who deserve better protection and reassurance that the law will take crimes against them seriously. America's postal workers are entitled to feel protected as they go about their public service mission, and at a minimum should be able to take solace in knowing that the law protects them against crimes as they perform their duties, and that any such crimes will be taken seriously in the courts.
All right, so
But they fumbled the paperwork, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
now, all right, let's take the post office out of it, the carrier out of it. If that happens to somebody on the street regularly, they put a gun to your head, they rob you, they figure out who actually robs you, they press charges, and even if the lawyer or whoever representing you or whoever fumbles it, the city can still press charges.
Yeah, the city will finish you.
The city
does,
will finish you. So in this situation, this should be federal, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So the Fed should be able to press charges, right?
Yeah, FBI should be all over this person.
So why is this person only doing 30 days? That's my question. Like how?
All I want to say is they don't care about us.
To me, that's crazy. And then I think it was a while ago when this robberies and stuff started happening to postal workers. I was told that if you rob a postal worker on the street, you would get less time than you would as if you robbed the actual postal building, because the postal building is considered federal property, and we're not considered federal property on the street while we're delivering, which is insane.
They were like, they said we're running over.
So what they're telling you is that the building and the contents of the building is more valuable than you.
Yep.
Yeah, but you still got contents from the building in your bag, in your truck.
No. Scanner.
You wearing the damn uniform.
Scanner, bag, mail, all that. Statue.
You're clocked in, which means they're responsible for you. So if you slip, trip, fall, get hit by a car, they're responsible for you.
Because you're on their clock. Is the
But
only
we
shit.
not their property, so it's a loophole.
What are we? What they say we're like a third party contract with them? Some old weird shit like that.
But to me, that's insane. So they can just walk up to you. All right, they could probably even shoot you, and it would just be whatever.
Like a regular civilian shooting.
Yeah, like
Not the
that's
same as if you shoot an FBI agent.
So,
But
but
I'm a citizen wrestler.
the normal federal employees get certain, benefits. Get certain, like you can't rob them. You getting federal time.
I think we're bottom feeders on the far as federal thing. I think as far as
Yeah, we're like the placeholders.
we're a place over kickers.
Yeah, that's crazy. To me, that's crazy.
We're not even the kicker. We're punter all year.
But I do send a bad message because it's like, all right, if y'all ain't gonna look out for us, we just gonna protect ourselves then.
And then the thing is,
Yeah, but
if you strike them, they gonna get me sued.
Yeah, but then you come to the postal police
Yeah,
comes
post
to the
office,
station and post flyers all over the place that we can't carry weapons and we can't do this, do that. Like the most thing we have on us at the most is a pen and a pepper spray. That John ain't shit.
That's just like
And
a
in the right hands, a pen could be a deadly weapon.
Oh yes,
Mhm.
it can be, but you gotta do a little more force and a little more work with a pen than a knife or a gun or a taser. Like you got us having taking an oath when we first start this job, but ain't nobody got no gun. Like how?
Except the postal police, they don't.
Yeah, except them.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
take the same oath they do.
Having them scared to use it, man.
Yo, oh God, stop it.
Now, I seen some of them dudes that lose on it. Like they handle business.
Put your hands up.
Like no disrespect, but it's like they, like them opposed to like the real cops. Like you can tell the difference.
Oh yeah.
Like the real cops that they're looking at eye like they'll finish you.
Oh, yeah, they waiting.
Yeah,
Give me a
like,
reason.
Yeah, give me a
Give me
reason.
a
So
reason.
you supposed to like this, like.
Yeah, the postal cop. I'm just like, when I see them, I'm like, you ain't about to shoot, yo.
They walk up smooth. Hey man, what's going on?
Like when the shit hits the fan, I don't got them handling business properly without backup.
Oh
The
yeah.
real
Hey,
police.
you're gonna say post police. Say back, post police.
Yeah,
Nah, they nice guys.
yeah, they're nice guys.
Protect and serve. You don't know. Here, protect and serve.
I just find it insane because I'm pretty sure y'all heard it too. When y'all was in orientation and everything, they say, "Oh, don't nobody mess with the mailman. Nobody mess with the mailman.
Yeah,
Mailman
yeah.
never get messed with."
No man, you can time this no. Yeah, that's federal. You're federal.
Guess what? We get messed with.
Getting robbed, abused, slept around.
But that's these people not being in
Oh,
touch
man,
with
it's
the new
not
generation.
not
Yeah,
me.
yep. These new generation of kids, these new
Like
late teenagers, early 20s, them niggas don't care about nothing.
you have to be,
Generation X and Z.
like, you have to be an idiot to think that somebody born in the 2000s would act exactly the same as somebody born in the 80s.
Hell nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're different generations for a reason. We have different mindsets, different things, like different temperament.
Well,
Like what worked for the people that were born in 1970 is not going to work for the people born in 1990, and so on and so forth.
I don't know. I'm just looking at it like I don't understand how people in a position of power just don't look at what's going on and keep up. It's not hard.
It's laziness.
It's not hard at all. They look at it and say, you know what? Let's continue with those 1970 rules. It'll work. I guarantee it. It's not working.
And it worked all this time.
All this time, yeah, it's not working.
This job says it's gonna love me and protect me.
Just like, and this is how I know they know it's not working. Because before any of us was in the post office, when we all was little kids, they had 4-hour routes.
Yeah.
I never saw my mail carrier when
I
I
ain't
was
never seen no man.
They had 4-hour routes. And the more and more we get to us getting older and older, we went from 4-hour routes to 6-hour routes. Now it's 6.5-hour routes.
Mm-hmm. 8.5.
And when they start consolidating these stations, you can't. We're gonna be 8 hours on the street. We still got a case. We're gonna have somebody case for us. Like what? Like
That's true. Yeah.
what's next? Like I don't
12-hour
understand.
routes. You
Yeah.
get everything all day.
Yeah, 12-hour routes, so you get penalty every day, every single day.
More than you know.
They already won it, or we ain't got money for that.
Mm-hmm. But then you tell us you got 21 billion, you made a quarter on the scanner.
Yeah, on the scanner. How you? Don't get me started on that. How you? It's like you slapping us in the face every day, and we're in contract season.
Talk about wow, bitch.
Like we ain't got no money, but we made 21 billion in a quarter. Like, huh? But we can't give you that $2 raise. We made 21 billion.
Yo, does the post office even pay taxes, yo? Like, that's a good question.
Probably not.
I don't know, probably not.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, yo, you made 26 billion. Uncle Sam gotta get a piece of that, right? That puts you in a high tax bracket, right? Like,
Yeah. Or they
we
might.
about to research that.
Well, they are the government, so
And the thing
there's
is,
no taxes to be had.
That might be double dipping, yeah.
And is it in the post office the first government job? They consider that's one of the first government jobs too, I think. Cause like,
I believe so, yeah.
So it's like you owe me a favor. Like I'm number one, you owe me a favor.
Hold on, wait. I just thought about this. If there is an actual possibility that the post office itself, as a company, is not paying taxes, why are they charging us taxes?
Ooh,
Now,
Lord.
you gotta research that. You gotta do some
Never
research.
Yeah,
change.
we had to look that
Oh,
up,
I'm
yeah.
definitely down.
Never change.
Oh yes.
Never change.
So Brandon, do you want to tell us about the new proposed contract details?
Oh, what they said in the stand-up talk.
So what did they say? They said so. What I read is they posed it's going to be a 2% increase. They said that they
2%.
2% increase. They said that it's going to push it up from 36 to 41 to 42 dollars an hour. And then it said that if you're at a certain level, I think you guys level we maxed out or pushed you too close to max. With that being said, then it also said Yeah, exactly.
You said max out was like 8 years,
8 years. So let me read
and you would still receive 100% of colas
yeah,
from
exactly.
41 to 42.
But
$2
this, they
raise.
still sending this to arbitration.
Years arbitration, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let me see. Yeah, so it says when what first shooting for it says that it's $86 per $86,000. It said the top at the end of the contract. It said he said other words were fucked. That's what the person said on Reddit. It says it's a shitty 2% contract. It said you put us at 4.2 by November this year. And it said that was puts us at $1.44 plus we're owed 65 cents or a cola. And then it says now assuming another 21 cents in August, then that puts us at 36.20 plus the $2.30 equals $38.50. Then it says then the 2% a year. Thereafter that puts us at a cola reaches you to 86,000. So that's what the person on right. That's the last thing I read about.
Oh, 86,000 yearly?
Yes,
Oh, as a maxed out person.
that's the max operating day. So you go from 36 basically to 42. That's what
Nope, try again. Try again.
I mean that's
It ain't enough.
Yeah.
Try again.
I'm gonna say make it enough.
Oh, so what is the max out yearly now?
36 is like
No, I'm talking about yearly.
I think it's like
70,
79.
79,
Try
78.
again. Try again.
No, it's really up right now. So it's 36.
I think it's 79,000. With no overtime.
I thought it was like
I'm gonna go now.
Listen, all they gotta do is just get some sponsors with the uniforms, make some more money, and give us
Well,
money.
we've talked about that on this pod. It's better business deals they could do to give us, guaranteed, better performance with our uniforms. 'Cause
Guess what?
These uniforms don't hold up.
How about start your own company, make your own damn clothes?
Yeah, that can help too. Maybe if you did make $26 billion in a quarter, you definitely could start a.
Yeah.
No, so you said
another
30,
company.
It's 30. So it's 37 actually. $37.
Yeah, $37 and some
So
change
that
an hour.
puts us at 76,000.
I thought it was 76. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so
so
So they're gonna raise it 10 grand, basically.
Yeah, that's a big significant thing for them business.
Try again.
Please try again.
Well, so that's pretty much what we came up with, guys. Like that 99 walk is pretty much designed to shrink routes down, not to add routes in for people that are overburdened. That's not what they're thinking about. It's about shrinking routes down, consolidating things because they're trying to save money and take away jobs at the same time.
Yep.
While we're still in this contract situation, we got to figure out exactly how much money we really need based on the style of living that we all have. And it's not the style of living of the individual, it's the style of living of the common American.
Yes.
Because that's what we should be basing it off of. You know what I mean? Because things are way too expensive and we're not being compensated to cover the cost and the rise of things. I mean, something so simple as buying a gelati, mango flavored gelati with cookies and cream ice cream on top. It was $5.25 last year.
Now it's $6.
Now it's $6.
Yo.
Same size. It's killing me.
Just the ice cream shop on Rick Route. They like upset.
Well, it's actually on Black's route.
Oh, Black Route, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
it should be on my route.
It
It should
touches
be on
your
my
route,
route.
basically.
Yeah, it should be on my route.
I'm gonna hand you that mail.
Well, you gotta pay for the
Why not?
robbery.
Why not? Hey, I go over there.
Oh, you got to pay for the
Robbery
pay
inflation.
yourself. Yeah, pay yourself.
They paying stuff.
Robbery inflation?
Yeah, they did have cameras up there. I guess that's what it's covering for.
Ice
Yeah.
cream, girl, you do.
Well, but if you like this episode, by all means, please comment, like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tell your friends, man. Stop playing with us, man. Tell your friends, man. On the Route Podcast, man. We're really doing this. New episode 33. We'll keep it going. We got some more guests coming in the near future for you guys. We'll let you guys know. Hope you guys been liking the reels. We hit you guys with some reels. For the episodes, getting you guys to come on in with us and rock out and let us know how you feel about the job.
Bring this into your homes.
People that's thinking about the job, they haven't gotten into the job yet. You might want to get into the job now because we're about to get paid pretty soon.
Yeah.
So you might want to get on now before we get paid. If you don't know what's going to happen after we
Is
get
that
paid,
getting paid?
it might. Well, for us. Not for the maxed out people. They really gonna be the baddest because there's not really that much changing for them. But for people that's like in the lower tier, yeah, like it's gonna be a big boost for some of us.
Yeah,
For you, the new person that's getting in here, you'll definitely get a boost because you're coming from whatever your situation was prior to jumping into the post office right when they get a pay increase. So whatever your lifestyle was is gonna get better anyway, just off of the increase alone.
Yeah.
So you might want to jump in now while you can. And tell your friends don't have a job yet. They've been thinking about something. Get in now before it gets hot, because it might be a hiring freeze. They've done that before in the past when things got too good to be true.
There's a lot of CCAs now.
Yeah, we did a lot. Yeah, people are not quitting the way they used to quit.
Oh, they were saying about the CCAs too, like you be CCA for a year and then that's it.
Yup. So imagine the amount of conversions is going to happen when people realize they're only going to do a year.
There's not even enough routes for
Easy
that. They're
process.
trying to consolidate routes.
Well, that goes back to what you said about them trying to make things so unbearable that the older people
Yeah,
just
older people.
won't roll out.
Crazy.
But we'll say that for another pod, though.
Yes, sir.
So, let the brothers have their last words before we get up out of here.
This is Black, and I'm very frustrated. You know, with these walks and this shrinking of the company and them not paying no money. Yeah, like Rick said, we'll make another pod for that one. But this is Black, man. We always give y'all information, giving y'all our experiences, letting y'all know how we feel about it, and we up out of here.
It's three more. I just want to know why they do things they do.
All right, Jada Kiss. Yeah, this is Aaron. So by now y'all should know us. So yeah, thank you for listening again and watching.
Yeah, this is your engineer, Rick Sean, telling you guys, appreciate you guys coming out, rocking with us. Like I said before, hit the like button if you haven't liked already, comment below. We want to hear from you, what you think. We'll hit you back. And if you have not subscribed, come on, man, stop being greedy. Just hit the button, yo. Not gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? Peace and blessings to y'all. You know what I mean? Be safe out there. And if you're a carrier, be safe on the route.
Happy Ramadan.
Can ain't never safe on the route.